Hi, my name is Alex. I own PokeLegendsTCG, an online Pokemon card shop, and I've done just over $125,000 in sales in 2025. And this is my story. So before I talk about how I went about starting a Pokemon card store, I gotta take you back. So through my 20s, I did a lot of what I had to do and less of what I wanted to do. I met a girl who later became my wife, and I won't go into detail, but she got sick. It got to the point where she couldn't work a regular job anymore. So I had to do what I had to do to make sure we were taken care of. This meant working long hours at the job, doing things I really didn't want to do, and we were just trying to make it. And by the way, I'm not looking for any sympathy here. This is the same story for a lot of people. A lot of people, especially through their 20s, do things that they don't necessarily want to do, and they do them because they have to. Now, fast forward the clock, and luckily my wife got healthy, and we ended up having a couple kids together. I've got a 4-year-old daughter and a 2-year-old son that I love very much. So putting the extra time into the job paid off. The job turned into a career, and now we find ourselves in a much better financial situation, and we're able to do a little bit more of what we want to do. I've always loved Pokemon ever since I was a kid, but I came across videos from Brian at PokeLegendsTCG, and there was something about his video that inspired me. I think it was the one, how to start a Pokemon card business in 2024, something like that. And it really just made me go, you know what, I could do this, and it would be something that I'd be passionate about. So I went about binge watching as many videos as I could find from Brian talking about starting a Pokemon card store and some of the mistakes he's made, what he recommends. I mean, there's just tons of cool stuff that not only Brian, but other content creators put out there, from, starting your LLC to which website builder you should use to, which packing supplies you should have, and just tons more stuff. So this is where, the journey really begins. So one of the things that's preached most about, and this was from Brian at PokeLegendsTCG and a host of other store owners, and that is content creation is king. So I got my socials created, and I committed to making 2 to 5 reels a week on Instagram. Now, at first, these were all over the place, like pack openings, hot takes on the market, promoting stuff on the store. They were all over the place. And I gotta tell you, those first videos are still on my Instagram. Please don't look at them. They are bad. I never really talked in front of the camera before, and I gotta tell you, it showed. Those first videos were really bad. Seriously, don't look at them. And one of the reasons why I knew they were bad is because I was not getting any sales. I started the Pokemon card store in July of 2024, and through July, from July to around November, I may have gotten, I don't know, like a few sales, like maybe 7 sales, and even that might be exaggerating. But I stayed committed, and I continued to do those 2 to 5 reels a week, and I also started to study other content creators and store owners. I studied their approach to which visualizations they use, the audio they use, how they speak in front of the camera, and I tried my best to take what worked for them and apply it to my own content. As the months went by, I started to realize something. I was getting better. I was getting more views, more followers, and ultimately more sales. This is where things started to get interesting, because I actually started to make money from the business. I was ecstatic. I was super excited to finally start seeing money, money coming in and not everything going out. So this was a super cool time. However, the money I made did not go into my pocket. I decided to put that money into running ads for the business. Now, hang in there with me. I'm not going to sell you some ad creating strategy or some BS marketing tools. I'm just walking you through what I did. But this is where I made some mistakes when it came to running ads for my business. Ads are not a band-aid to bad content. And that's something I realized very quickly. Now, luckily, there were a couple videos that did decent organically, and those were the ones I had most success running ads for. Now here, I did something a little bit different than other store owners. You may assume the ads I ran directed people to the website, and that is an option. You can absolutely direct people directly to your website from ads on Instagram. This isn't what I did though. I directed people to my Instagram profile. Now, I did this for a couple reasons. So reason number one is my way of thinking was X number of followers would not only equal X number of customers, it would equal X number of returning customers. With my commitment to content creation, the 2 to 5 reels a week, my followers would see my face and my brand on a weekly basis. Sorry, I'm not prettier, by the way. And they would be a lot more likely to buy from me again. The second reason goes back to the importance of content creation in the first place, especially for an online Pokemon card store. Look, I know, everyone knows the nature of this business and how many scams and, dishonest business practices there are in this industry. More often than not, people aren't going to buy from a brand that they don't know, especially collectibles. Creating content is a way to build a foundation of trust with your customers. And this strategy worked. It's something I continue to do now. So, something to keep in mind. With starting a Pokemon card business or any other business for that matter, there's going to be bumps along the way. Not everything is going to be just a perfect, smooth ride. And this certainly was not the case for me. As the months went on, I started to realize that I wasn't getting consistently enough views or followers to grow my store the way I wanted to. The only way I was getting more followers was from running ads, and that just wasn't sustainable over the long run. Like I said before, ads are not a band-aid to bad content. Now this was really frustrating to me at the time because this was, months into starting the business and I felt like I was getting better. But in hindsight, I was getting better, just not good enough. This is around when I started talking with Logan from Zippy's Card Corner. I had issued a challenge. It was a 30-day challenge to fellow store owners for us to push each other to create 30 reels in 30 days. Logan was one of the store owners that took me up on this challenge. He began creating content. He did a reel every day for 30 days. And I realized very quickly that he was serious about this. His content was good. It kept me engaged, and I found myself pausing to watch his content, and I quickly became a fan. I messaged Logan, and this was the very first time I had done this. I asked if we could do a collaboration. It was a Q&A collab. He accepted, and it went super well. But the coolest thing is we found ourselves talking more and more often about the ins and outs of our Pokemon card stores and our content. The weeks turned into months, and something I noticed very quickly was that Logan was blowing up. He went from around 500 followers to over 10,000 in just a couple months. And this was without running any ads, you guys. This was completely organic content. Now, to be completely honest and transparent with you guys, I couldn't help but be a little bit jealous here. I was creating content consistently for the better part of a year at this point, and I had nowhere near that kind of success with organic content. So this is where some people get stuck into thinking, it's, the algorithm just isn't on my side, or, it's just luck, it's a luck of the draw. It's Instagram's fault. But I ultimately realized that my content just wasn't good enough. Not yet. I learned a lot talking back and forth with Logan, studying his content, his approach, and other content creators as well. And like I said, I knew my content wasn't good enough, and I doubled down and got determined to get better. I learned more about the importance of the hook, the first 5 seconds of the video, how many cuts to use and when, the optimal length of the video, and just tons of other things. This process of getting better continued on for months, and it's something I continue to hone today. And recently, I've had 2 videos go over 35,000 views organically, and I've climbed to almost 14,000 followers on Instagram. In the month of November alone, I've done over $20,000 in sales and ultimately over $125,000 in sales in 2025. It's been an awesome journey, and I want to continue sharing this on the channel. If you would consider subscribing, I would greatly appreciate it, guys. More content soon. Love you. Peace.